Hey y'all, welcome back to the Soul Speaks podcast, where the soul speaks is mine. No more holding back, no more holding in. My yacht wouldn't like that. Okay, y'all, it's been a minute since I did a podcast episode, but I was drawn to making it. Hopefully, it's short and sweet, but the way I channel and ramble, we might be here a minute. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but I know that this episode is about grief. So trigger warning, possibly. Um, yeah. So I don't know. The word grief has just been on my mind for the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to figure out why. Because I didn't have like the full download the moment I got the word. Like all I heard was grief. And then I was like, okay, well, I know what grief is. And I kind of know how you're feeling when you're in grief. But then as the days went on and I was thinking about, what first comes to mind when you think about grief. And that's kind of like, most people would think about like death, right? Like, okay, you lost a family member or something and now you're grieving. Or like a pet, like you're grieving, right? Or you're grieving a breakup. And so I was just thinking about the different like versions of grief and thinking about it in its actual like definition, but then also thinking about it in the spiritual aspect where, we don't always know that we are grieving. Sometimes our behaviors can be unconscious to us. And it's because we're grieving. Sometimes people on the outside can look in and say, you're grieving, so that's why you're doing XYZ. But I was just thinking about grief, and it's not all that they say it is, and not everybody feels the same emotion during grief. So I'm going to look up the definition. The definition of grief is deep sorrow, especially that caused by someone's death, or trouble or annoyance. Deep distress, cause of such suffering, life's joys and griefs. And the word joy has been coming up too. So I like that it just came full circle like that, because although I wasn't getting the full picture when it comes to grief, that's a message within itself. Whatever you felt like you've lost, or that you've been rejected from or by, or feel like something has abandoned you, you don't see the full picture yet. Right now, you're in the frequency of grief. You are in the frequency of uncertainty. You don't see what's happening, right? So I have a couple of things. I have a couple of quotes. I don't know who this quote is by, but if I find out, I'll put it in the description box. But grief is not a disorder, a disease, or a sign of weakness. It is an emotional, physical, and spiritual necessity. The price you pay for love. The only cure to grief is to grieve. And when I saw that, I was like, so before I even found that quote, I was thinking about my own personal circumstances and situations with grief and my experiences with it. And I have a few that I will share, but in one instance, in the most recent instance, I was thinking about, because I am in the process of divorce right now, and it will be finalized shortly. And I have been, my ego has been so ready for the divorce to be finalized. I'm just ready to be free spiritually, and let's hurry this up and let's hurry this up. But then there was some circumstances happening during the retrogrades last month where I was like, okay, so if I didn't tap into these feelings, the repressed ones and the suppressed ones, if I didn't tap into those feelings and dig them up and release them, when the divorce actually gets here, I'm going to be torn still. And let's keep this in mind. I do not want my ex-husband. I don't. But not dealing with certain things, like not grieving, is a detriment. Not actually processing that. I had to do a lot of things that didn't involve taking care of my emotions during that time of separation and filing of divorce, right? And so because I didn't focus on my emotions, they were repressed, suppressed, and numbed. And I just had to do the things that are important, the tangible things that are important. Focus on my child, focus on my job, focus on my career advancement, focus on my health to an extent, right? So years of suppressing that, finally in the new year, in March of 2025, is when the emotions were dug up and were allowed to be free. And now I feel that breath of fresh air. The 2.5 years that I was in separation, I did my crying, I did my journaling, I did my praying, I pulled my cards, I tried to go out and do things. I thought that I was healing. And I was, probably on an ego standpoint, not in a shadow standpoint. So when things were certain feelings were resurfaced, it was like they took control. Because I was holding on to the fact that, well, I'm healed. I'm over it. And I can't wait for this to be done. And the vision that I got when I was thinking about this whole grief thing, I was thinking about two hands that are clenched to a fist, right? And so you're holding on to something with clenched fist. That's grief. So how you are over it? Obviously things will trigger you and you will feel things, right? But how you are done grieving that specific instance is when your hands feel relaxed. And when they relax and they start to open up, they open up facing upward, facing the sky, ready to receive. When I had that vision, I was like, oh shit. Because it's true. And also another example. So within this 2 years, I have went through a separation with my ex-husband, but also I lost my grandmother and my dad within a month of each other. Okay? That was in 2023. So because of that, and I have a small family, so because of that, it was like, okay, you just left your husband. great. Suck it up. You know what I mean? You got things to do. You have important things to do. You can't be crying over it. You can't be all sad and you can't do that. You got things to do. People to take care of. Right? Then my peoples die. And, they leave the planet, and I was actually responsible for setting up my dad's arrangement. So I had to do that with also being in shock that he passed, right? So all that to say, without a whole lot of detail and without tears and without rambling, I didn't really get to grieve losing my granny and my dad a month apart. I didn't really get to grieve. Yes, I cried. Yes. But I had to, do the estate things, cutting off phone bills and, moving things out of his place and, cleaning up and, doing the arrangements. So I couldn't be down and out for a long time. So to me, it felt like I didn't grieve. I just had to push through. Push through. And then when my dad wanted to channel me and he would come into my mind, I'd be like, nope, I can't think about that because I'll get emotional, right? Same with my granny. So I'd be like, nope, can't think about it. Nope, can't think about that. Nope. We're not going to go that far. We're not going to go that deep down into the emotions, right? Clenched fist. Control issues. Nope. We're not going to open up a little bit. Not even a little bit. Nope. We're not going to be vulnerable. Not even a little bit. Nope. And like I said in the vision, a clenched fist, you're not receiving anything. You're holding on to things that probably want to be let go. Things that have died. Things that have expired. Things that aren't even there anymore. You thought you were holding something. Like you thought you caught a butterfly and then you open your eyes and you open your hands and there's no butterfly in your hand. So you're holding nothing this whole time. Right? So I'll leave that there. I went to the Bible. And I wanted to find a quote about grief, and a good one, and this one stood out. So it's John 16:20. This is the NIV version. Very truly I tell you, you will weep and mourn while the world rejoices. You will grieve, but your grief will turn into joy. And that's another place where I saw joy at. Because when I was pulling some cards for myself, joy came out. And I just kept hearing joy. And I'm like, okay, that means there's a new beginning. That means there's a reason to feel joyful. And so when I've been experiencing my own energy and just reprogramming how I think about things and regulating my nervous system, especially surrounding grief and the things that I've been through, I realized that I've been feeling more joyful. Even what could be quote unquote for no reason, but just you get a wave of joy, you get a wave of excitement, you get a wave of motivation. And I've always been a person who is motivated off of grief. If I'm going through something traumatic or I'm angry or something, I can transmute that. And I can manifest a few different things in different areas beautifully. But with it being my Saturn return and all of those things happening over these last 3 years back to back, I kind of forgot how to navigate through waters like this. And so now that I have been working on that very intently, I have felt my hands relax. And I feel that things are dropping into my hands, because my hands are reaching up to the sky, and the sky is the limit. So now God can bless me with the things that I've been trying to manifest, because now I'm not focused on what I'm trying to ignore, grieving about. I don't have to, keep those emotions all tight and bottled in. I actually let it go. I said, okay, Dad, I miss you. I love you. And I hate you not here. But that was in 2023. Granny, same thing. And then even with I've had to say that to my ex-husband. To him, but also spiritually for me too. I've had to apologize to myself for not healing in the time that I was supposed to. Meaning that I didn't take the time to heal when it was happening. Instead just stuffing everything under the rug and thinking that nobody's gonna see the pile of shit sticking out of the rug, So I just want to say this. I am healing right now, and I'm putting this out there as a very vulnerable post in a very vulnerable episode. I am healing. I've chose vices that doesn't help with healing but numb my healing process. And taking a break from those vices, taking a break from distractions, and actually going within and making the conscious decision to let it go. Open my hands up to that situation and letting it go. And making sure in my mind too, when I go back to certain things and I'm like, oh, and I wonder what they're doing, and I want, no, focus, rein it back in on you. Because you're the only one that can create your reality and do what you would like to do. You can't focus on anything else, especially for anybody that's not in your life, dead or not. Me being sad about my dad being here is sad, but I have more life to live. So I can honor my life by living mine and making sure that I honor him in it. Same with my granny. And when it comes to the marriage thing, just understanding that I got married before, I can get married again. Love is out there. People get married, remarried all the time to the real love of their life. You know what I mean? Like, in that clenched fist state, that's a scarcity mindset. No, I'm not going to let it go. That's a lack mindset. No, if I don't have this in my hand, what will I have? Or I'm not going to have anything in my hand. Or, oh, I don't like this. I like when my hands are closed. It feels better. You know how some people are like, oh, peace and quiet. I don't like that. They don't like a calm nervous system. They would prefer the hustle and bustle and the noisiness. So with this, if you are healing from something, a breakup, a friendship breakup, deaths in the family, a loss of a job, a rejection, something that you wanted and you're grieving it. Grieve that shit. It's important. You cannot keep numbing yourself. You can't keep saying your emotions don't matter. You can't say that. Emotional healing is needed right now because you can't follow your intuition if you're not in tune with your emotions. You can't be in tune with your emotions if you're stuffing them down and repressing them. Because that means you're not listening. How are you going to ascend if you stuffing down all your emotions? That's like an anchor. And you stuffing your emotions, just stuffing them. And that anchor going to hit the ground, hit the bottom of that sea floor, and you just going to be stuck there. You're not going nowhere. How are you going to ascend? How are you going to receive the divine downloads that you need to expand? How are you going to know which foot to step where? I don't know. That just helped me. Like, that help when I literally feel lighter. And I've been working on this. Like, I've been working on my chakras. I've been doing intentional chakra healing, making sure that all of them are being worked on so that different things can be released from them, right? Different things can be unlocked so that they can be unblocked, and getting them out the way so that it's not affecting me anymore. Whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, all of it. Certain health ailments that you have and illnesses and chronic issues that you have are chakra related. So work on that. I know I am. And I feel better. Which is why I feel like I could give you this message today. Because I have clarity. Because I let some stuff go. So it's a lot of stuff not on my mind no more. Now I'm like, oh, I want to do that hobby. And now I have time to do this. And now this and this. I'm not overthinking the bad things anymore. I'm actually overthinking good things now. Like, I don't know. And even with like my grandmother's passing, like me and her had some conversations, but literally the week before she passed, and we let some things go together. And I think if we didn't have that conversation, she would have still been suffering. And it would have just been eating at her until she eventually passed, but she would have been suffering. When she went, we released things together. We expressed our love together. We put our hearts together. And she peacefully went home a day or two after that. So it is really, truly about allowing ourselves to free ourselves. We don't have to be bogged down by this stuff anymore. And this may sound super hippy dippy and all this stuff, but I literally turned 30 on the 22nd of March. And I have a mini vlog out, so check it out if you haven't seen it. But I turned 30. And I was already prepared and excited for 30, knowing that my 30s is going to be the best years of my life. And how much I'm going to accomplish and change and heal in my 30s. So I already set that in stone. So when I woke up at 30, I felt it. I felt a change. I've been doing things differently. I've been speaking differently. Letting go of literally anything that doesn't serve me, and that's not an exaggeration. How are you going to strengthen yourself? A lot of people think grieving and crying and showing an emotional state, that's not like anger. Because when people see anger, some people think of a strong, like that's a strong emotion, you know? And they think of crying and, you know, sadness as like weakness. No, we're very secure. That's why we can do it. There's security and strength in vulnerability. So allow that to happen. Free yourself. from the tight muscles of holding on to everything. Just holding on. I want to hold on to what they did to me. And I want to hold on to how that made me feel. And I want to hold on to the fact that I didn't get that job 5 years ago. And I want to hold on to the fact that this is the vision I saw. And I'm not there right now. And I want to hold on to the fact that I would have had 4 kids by now. And a big soccer van. And let that go. And be ready to receive actual expansion, actual elevated status. Give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to be purified where you don't have extra baggage. Bag Lady, the song Bag Lady comes to mind. You gonna miss your bus dragging all in bags like that. You gonna break your back dragging all in bags like that. And not everything is easy. It has literally taken me 2 years to stop really being super emotional about my dad. My dad was my best friend. So, and yes, that makes me sad. You know, it still makes me sad, but I finally stopped crying about it. I finally stopped crying about my granny. And recently, after a crying session, because I stopped crying about my ex-husband and what our marriage was supposed to be. I stopped crying over that a long time ago and just was like, oh, that doesn't bother me. And then I had a flood, the floodgates of tears, the floodgates of getting over it and letting it go actually came out. That's so funny because the Ace of Cups, I'm looking at the Ace of Cups right here and the water is just overflowing. Baby, I was crying, snot, everything, cry. I had to let it go because I really was like, you really not letting this go, huh? And not in a desperation way, but just like, oh, you know, like, who knows what'll happen in the future? That's too much damn hope. I'm sorry. No, That actually was too much hope. Oh, we'll see what happens in the future. That gave too much space. That's still holding on. That's holding on. Yeah, I'm over it. But I was still like, oh, I'm over it. But, you know, in the future, like, you know. Like, be done. And so I told myself I was done. And I mean, things bloomed. Things blossomed. Downloads just pop right in. Ding, another one. Thank you, another one. Thank you, another one. And it freed me. And the more I focused on freeing my body and freeing my mind, the more divinity was occupying that space. I didn't just clear and remove all this stuff and left it empty and left it void for me to put more unhealthy things in there or put the same thing that I got rid of back in there. I'm trying to replace it with healthier things, healthier mindsets, healthier and higher vibrations. Words that uplift me. People that uplift me. Right now, I'm not really in the company of too many people. I'm very much in hermit mode right now because this is actually grieving. I'm used to doing, as a recovering people pleaser, I was used to doing a lot of like, still putting the good mask on. So you wouldn't really know if I'm going through anything unless you knew, like I told you, like, hey, my dad died. But I'll still show up. I'll still be cracking jokes. I'll still be, you know, myself. And sometimes I want to be the other part of myself. which is not telling jokes, being quiet, not want to say nothing. I don't want to say hey to people. I actually want to be quiet, you know? And so I'm actually allowing myself to do that too, which is also healing. Like, it's being yourself is being both parts of yourself, light and dark. So it's healing to know that I don't have to be in the light all the time. Like, oh, well, yeah, make sure you smile and make sure you're here for people and make sure, hey, people don't want to hear about your traumas and what's going on with you for real. They don't want to hear that. Just make sure, you keep it light and fun. Light and fun. Right now, I'm like, hey, I really don't want to talk. Hey, right now, not doing so well, so I just want to be by myself. Hey, and that has been healing all parts of me, different parts of me. In a fashion that, honestly, I've been timeline jumping. This is exactly what you need to do. Just say, I'm going to let it go. Write a letter. Burn it. Write a letter. Tear it up. Scream. I be doing that. I get in my car and I just scream. It feel good. I be singing my heart out. I always pull some cards and I'll be like, hey, what do I need to focus on? What is my divine team doing behind the scenes that I don't know? You know what I mean? Just get an insight. But right now, it's the time. We're in the year of 9, which is the ending heading to the beginning. So let's clear this shit out. Because it's time for us to step into the light. It's time for us to feel the sunshine on us. It's time for us to feel that. Without no baggage like, oh, well, they did me dirty, so I got trust issues. I'm not saying that shit no more. I don't ever want to be like, oh, I've been done dirty. Oh, I've been ghosted before. Oh, and it's not lying, but it's leading my life. It's writing my story the way it needs to be wrote. Well, written. Sorry. The way it needs to be written is I learned a lot of things. And I've came across quite a bit of people who've taught me some things about how different people will do you in certain periods of your life. And I've learned from that. I've learned from that. I'm healed and I can recognize it. So that I am aware next time and I have more discernment next time. And I also know that it's best to heal through it. Heal through it. Don't just let it sit there and fester. Heal through it. And us healing this, all this grief and baggage, because some of this stuff, and I was thinking about this too when I was processing this download. I was like, some of this stuff that we're grieving, one, isn't even ours. So some stuff is ours. Some stuff is the delusion that we created. Some of this stuff is the delusions that other people created and placed on us. Some of this stuff is stuff that we were born into. So some of this stuff, we need to figure out what's ours and what's ours only. And that's it. Like, And I also did write this too. I don't want to forget this. Healing is not linear. And grief isn't something you can pinpoint. Grief is a trigger. It can trigger up those abandonment wounds, father-mother wounds, the fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, and hell. It can even trigger Stockholm syndrome in abusive relationships. I think that's kind of what, being honest here, very transparent. I think that is also why, because I was like fine with it being out of sight, out of mind. Like not seeing him often. I'm like, okay, great. But just like as the divorce is being closer and closer to being finalized, it's just those residual feelings. That's all. And that's something I had to process as well. So just be prepared too, like when you are grieving and you are ready to let some of this stuff go, because you have to make that decision to say, I am letting this go. Like, I am not going back to this and that. I'm not going back to a clenched fist where I can't even receive anything. It's giving me the five of cups, where you just looking down at the 3 cups, but you got 2 cups behind you that's full, and you looking at the 3 spilled cups, and you all sad, and you want to look back. And no, we did enough of that. Like this whole grieving thing, we did enough of that. Like enough of like looking back and wondering like, well, what if like I could have just, or what if and this and oh, I'm so sad. Like, why they not here? Like, I'm still so crushed. Oh. So when you get done with that, because are you going to get tired of moping and groaning all day? So when I got tired of it, that's why I said, okay, well, let me do something. And I did a few things. And so now I'm happy to even be on here with ideas like this, because this is something that I had to deal with myself. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, grieve. Like, you're actually like grieving right now, like multiple different things. Wow. Do you know that you've acted differently with each scenario that you've been grieving? Because with your granny, you grieve like this, but then with daddy, you grieve like that. And then with your ex-husband, like, you have like 4 different ways of grieving, but then not really, but. And so I was just like, wow, like it's not linear. Like we know healing isn't linear, but grief, like the actual how you're gonna get over it, the actual feeling of it every day, until you don't feel it no more. And honestly, y'all, when you don't feel it no more, that is the best feeling. Like, it is the best feeling. I'm ready. I am so ready for the summertime. I have so many plans. I am so excited for this new year in general. Like, I have things already planned out. I have things in the works. Things are already done. So, like, please give yourself this grace. Please give yourself this love and this TLC that y'all really need. And just sit down and purge. Like, let it go. Like, open your hands up. Seriously. Cause one thing God not gonna do, and I just saw this, he's not gonna pry your hands open. He not. Okay, you still heard about that? You still down about that? Okay, and it's been, blah, blah years. You still down about that? Okay. Take your time. He's not going to pry your hands open and be like, get this. I'm trying to give you something. Now take it. Now open your hands up and take it. Like, he's not going to try to pry your fingers open so that you can receive what he's trying to give you. So it's your best bet to actually make the effort to heal, so that you can receive what he has for you. Because he's going to be like, oh shit. Because he's going to be seeing the progress. He's going to see you slowly opening up your hands. And now all of a sudden your hands are open up to the sky, ready for whatever he dropped down in you. And he's going to be looking at you like, yep, she's definitely ready. Look at this. Look at this. Both hands open and they close together. She ready to hold something real tight. She ready to hold something with all they might. They ready to take care of this blessing. Look at that. So just give yourself this chance to feel anew, to feel free, to feel purified. Give yourselves a chance to be powerful this go round. Because I'm not going to lie, it feel good. It feel real good. It feel real powerful to know that when I wake up and when I go to bed and I pray and I do the things that I had on my to-do list and I'm doing extra shit. And I got the energy to do it. But then also I'm listening to my body telling me when to rest. Telling me when to chill. Telling me when to love on my inner child. Telling me to do something for my higher self with love. And be proud of. But I can only hear that because I got rid of all the other shit that was in my mind occupying it. Becoming a cancer, becoming a tumor, becoming something that don't go away, a rash or something. Whatever it is, whatever comes to mind that ain't gonna go away. I love y'all. I really do. I love y'all. And we got to stick together because the things that we have been through, the things we have witnessed, the paranormal activity, the witnessing that God is real, the witnessing that divination, depending on who uses it, could be hit or miss. All the things that we've experienced in this here called life, in Earth School, we deserve to have joy in our life. We deserve for our manifestations to last. We deserve for people to find us in this lifetime. We deserve to have people who want to make their lives better because we're in their lives. We deserve people who want to make our lives better just because we're in their lives. We deserve to have the financial security and freedom we deserve. We deserve the love that the universe ultimately has unconditional amounts of. But we can't get any of that if we don't let it go and really be light as a feather, like Mayat says. We have to be light as a feather. And my candles are over there popping so hard. Yeah. I think this is it, y'all. Hopefully this was of some help. It sparked something. It resonated somehow. I love y'all. I had to get this out. It's important that we actually heal. And people say that this is how you heal and da-da, but no, sometimes you just need to say it like, I am healing from this. I am healed from this. And believe that shit. And step forward like it is true. Because it is true. Because you said it. Y'all. Stay focused. We got joy to experience. We got divine romantic love to experience. We have financial freedom we need to experience. So let's release all the that's going to stand in our way from getting it. And we're talking about within. That's the only thing we're talking about. We're talking about within. All right, y'all. Y'all stay hydrated. Y'all stay hydrated. Stay educated. Later.